Hi, this is Kelly. Welcome to my channel. I have 3 new DIYs for you today. Some Gothic vampires. DIY number 1, Gothic beauty. So I picked up this frame thrifting and I just thought it was so beautiful, but it's a little scuffed up. So we're just going to give it a little makeover here. I am sanding the spots that are damaged. It was, I don't know, someone just never used it and it laid in a box and collected dust. It still has the little backing paper on it. But to me, it said vampire loud and clear. So, now this is folk art, true burgundy. And what I'm doing is I am just going over these edges. It was distressed where there was burgundy underneath the black. And where I had to sand it, it was, wore all the paint off. And we want to do those edges and the outside edges with the burgundy. And now I have my candle and I am just going to rub wax only in the spots that I want to distress again. So we're just doing these edges and we go around there with the candle and then also go around that outside edge. And rub that on there really well. Try not to get it anywhere you don't want it. So now we're going to paint black chalk paint over top of the burgundy paint and the wax. And I'm just using a small brush to just get this edge because I don't need to get black paint anywhere else besides that edge and then the rest of the front and sides. So I'm just going to take my time and get some paint on top of that wax. Keep going on around. Thank you guys for being with me here today. I really appreciate you guys. I'm getting close to that 3,000. We're going to talk about another giveaway here soon. This has been so much fun. I really enjoy bringing you this content. So here we've got a bigger brush and we are just painting the rest of this outer frame black. And instead of using a metal scraper, I've got this little plastic scraper here and I am very, very gently hitting those edges to get that burgundy to show through where we put the candle wax. It's hard to see. I'm sorry it's hard to see on this video here. I can see a little better there. And just extremely gently. I don't want to scrape it all the way down to where I repaired it. Because it is kind of subtle, but it picks up nicely with that burgundy in the center. Now I'm just taking a clean, dry brush and brushing away all the little crumbs. All the little crumbs of paint. And I'm going to seal this entire thing with my folk art clear wax. And that's going to bring out the color of that original burgundy area as well. This wax is a really nice product. A little bit goes a long way. And it just gives you a nice, without being high gloss, it gives some sheen to your chalk paint. Brings out the colors. And we're just going to brush that on and just wipe off the excess. Don't wipe it all off. Don't wipe it off really hard. Just get the excess off because you want to get it all down in all the little details. And then, see, I wiped it a little too much there, but I'm going to apply some more anyway, so it's no big deal. But you don't need to wipe it that much. I'm just learning to use this. You can go back later. You let it dry for a few hours, and you can go back later and buff it a little bit, get it a little shinier if you like. But it's really not necessary. It gives it a nice finish. You just put it on there and let it dry. It's beautiful either way. You just don't want blobs of it everywhere stuck in all your crevices. And just keep going on around, adding our wax. So yeah, I realized when I used it a couple more times since this video that it just, the bottle says wipe away excess immediately. They're talking about big blobs and runs. They're not talking about wipe it all down. It still put a nice finish on it, but I did go back to a second coat. So here we've just got a Etsy print. I printed on photo paper. And And we're just going to put this Gothic beauty in her new home. Put this frame back together. Someone tell me why they put that stupid velvet on the back of picture frames. It is such a dust collector. You have to get tape or a roller to get it all. It's a pain in the butt. And look at this beauty. Oh my goodness. Was she meant for this frame or what? She's a vampire queen, you guys, sitting in her throne, just chilling. We're going to make a little chiffon bow here. Nice and simple. Crisscross. Got my little bow maker here. Yeah, I'm not paying $30 for a bow maker. This was a sign from Dollar General or somewhere for $1. A couple dowel rods, and had my husband drill some holes, some hot glue, boom, bow maker. And there's no wire in the chiffon ribbon, of course, so you keep your loops small or they're just going to be flopping everywhere. If you stack several layers on top of each other, that kind of holds it all together, but you still don't want them very big. So I'm just going to make 4 loops with this black ribbon. And you just basically just make sure it's straight in there, make sure your loops are all the same length, and that's all there is to it. Then we trim that off. And then we're going to do the same thing with the burgundy on top. We're going to do 4 loops of the burgundy on top of the black. And look, I remembered to put my twine on there first. That does make your life easier. Keep it intact while you remove it from your bow holder here. And then as you move along, don't do your loops any bigger on top. You can do them a little smaller. You can keep them the same. But I did the burgundy just a tiny bit smaller than the black. This is a little bit of Excelsior. I can't find black Excelsior. I have to paint it. I just put on a glove, hold it in my hand, and hit it with some black spray paint. Got a little bit of Excelsior. And then when you fluff that up, that hides that twine. And you want to bring the twine around the back and tie it in a knot. Make sure you hold on to that ribbon while you do this. Make sure it's centered. Make sure your loops are all good. I did do those two of the black loops. I made a little too big, but once it's all put together, it's not a big deal. But yeah, you got to keep them small. Tie it a second time, get it real nice and tight. And then we're just going to kind of fluff it out a little bit, get everything going in the direction I want it to. Fluff up that Excelsior to hide your twine. And we're just going to hot glue it up to this upper right corner here. And of course, trim the twine off, obviously. I'm sure you figured that out. There's a pretty bow on here. And now I told you to fluff the Excelsior, which normally, yeah, but I decided to add this little bat. So I dug it back open to find that twine, because I want to make a connection between the glue and that twine. Get my little bat on here. And she is done. Isn't she pretty? A little more fluffing there. Very nice. And that brings us to DIY number 2, Shattered. Here I have another one of these Dollar General arches. They come in there's 3 of them hinged together, and I just took one off and I painted it with black chalk paint and finished the front with folk art clear wax. And here's my image. I printed this on, I don't know if you'd call it cardstock. I printed on the white side of scrapbook paper. And this is one of those tiles from Dollar Tree, and I've already marked it where I'm going to cut it. And we'll cut this out. This goes in the top of the arch. and I traced it on the outside of the arch, so you want to cut it on the inside of the line you drew, because it's going to be on the back side. You don't want to hang it off the edge, and of course it does, and I have to trim it, but that's okay. Better to have to trim it than cut it too small, because you can't add. You can take more away, but you can't add it back. And luckily this has the adhesive all the way across, not like those bigger panels that are only have the adhesive on the edges. So I just put that down on a piece of poster board, and I already painted the back of the poster board black. And then my image is going to go, it's like you're kind of looking at her through a window. And we're going to take some black chalk paint and paint that tile. And this took 2 coats. Make sure the first coat is absolutely dry. And then we're going to take this vintage gray blue color and dry brush and pick up all those pretty details. And then I took some satin clear coat and put a couple coats on the image, and then I put took some gloss clear coat on that tile and brought it to a similar sheen as the wax. Now I'm going to glue this pretty lace across the top of the image, and that's Aleene's tacky glue. And then I glued it down in those areas as well. I went back and picked up each of those larger areas so I could get some glue under there. So now I made sure I have it in the proper position. You have to be able to see her face. And I put some blue painter's tape on one side to keep it from moving around. And we're just going to go around with our Thick and Quick here. And take a little brush and spread it around. It doesn't take much glue to stick this paper down to. And I did not put wax on the back. I don't want to try to glue anything to the wax. And I add a little more in the center, and that edge there didn't want to stick down because of the lace, so I added a little bit more glue there and just held it in place for a few minutes. And now we're going to glue this tile in place, make sure it's in the right spot, and we're going to use the tape again to hold it in place. And then we're going to glue the top portion, and again I just put it on there and then I spread it with the brush. You don't want it oozing out everywhere. Make sure you got a nice thin coat all the way around, and press that down. And I'm going to pull this tape and add it to the section I glued. Thick and Quick, it grabs pretty quick. It's not going to slide around too bad on you, but. And these are just some gigantic craft sticks from Walmart. And I'm just going to go ahead and take these clamps. The craft sticks are protecting my finish. And let that dry for about an hour. Now I have some black and burgundy chiffon ribbon and some black crocheted lace ribbon. And I'm just stacking those up on top of each other. Tie them together in the center with some twine. I hot glued it to my piece, and then I've glued a white rose. Later you'll see I glue 2 more roses. And I'm just trimming it up so it doesn't cover up too much of my image. And this project is complete. DIY number 3, the Pale Princess. I love this one. This is one of my absolute favorites. It's all in black and white. It is just so cool. So this is a little sign I got from Dollar General. And once I got that football loose and pried it off, the top layer of that paper started to come off, and then I just found the edge, and I'm just taking my razor knife and carefully scraping all that up. And this is raw NDF, so it took 3 coats of paint. But I'm just painting the entire front and inside with white chalk paint. Now there's my image. Oh, I just love her. And it's in black and white. And I burned the edges, and I thought, you know, I want to make that black instead of that burnt look. I like the look, but I was like, let's go ahead. We're doing black and white. Let's take some black paint and just go around those edges. So this is all dry. Again, that was 3 coats of white paint, and then I painted the sides and the back with black chalk paint. And these silicone molds here, I usually do air dry clay, but you can also do hot glue. I've got a couple roses filled in with the hot glue. So while they're cooling down, we're going to take our Mod Podge and put it down on the back of this shadow box. And I've cut this piece of lace to fit already. And we're going to get that in there. Make sure it's in the right spot. It wants to stick before you get it. You know, you gotta kind of play with it a little bit. Make sure you get it in the right spot before you start pressing it down. Then I'm going to go ahead and put a top coat of Mod Podge. And then, of course, we set that aside and let that dry for a little while. Once it's dry, look how pretty that is. We're going to attach our image. Now, we're going to use Aleene's Tacky Glue for this. With this lace, it's all bumpy and rough and everything else. I don't want to try to fool with Mod Podge. So tacky glue is the way to go, or thick and quick would probably work as well. And I just painted that on the back, and we're just gonna, of course it wanted to curl up on me, but that's okay. we'll get her there. Just press that down. Isn't she pretty? So pretty. And it's gonna have bumps, and it just is with that lace behind it. But you can't really see them. You can feel them, but you can't really see them. Now these hot glue roses I painted white and black, and I'm not really squirting more glue on them. I'm just melting the glue that's there. And we're gonna put those in place in the bottom left corner. So yeah, you just get your tip of your glue gun in there, and then you're not adding more glue, which you're less likely to have big blobs of it or too many strings. So now I've got this black lace, and I've cut two pieces. I'm going to go across the bottom and across the top, and this is tacky glue again. And once you get, you're going to want to get one end down and kind of leave it alone, let it set up, let it get, you know, if you start pulling on it and pull it loose, then you'll be fighting with it. So once I know it's going to hold, I just continue on down, trying to line the edge up as best as I can. So I've got it across the bottom, and then like I said, I will go and also put it across the top. There we go. So that's all done. I let that dry for a while. Now we're going to make a little bow with the same lace, and we're just going to make like a awareness bow here, awareness ribbon, and we just kind of loop it and cross it over and pinch it together and just make a bow real quick. Then this is a piece of black chiffon ribbon. I cut it in half lengthwise and then frayed that edge, and I'm going to tie both of them to this bow. I'm going to tie one to hold it together and then add the other one for some extra tails. So we want to get that nice and tight, and of course do 2 knots. Make sure you pull it really tight. I'll trim it, cut it at an angle, trim it off. I don't know why I didn't cut it off of the roll sooner, but that's okay. And we're going to add the other piece, and we're going to figure out where we're going to glue it, and we're going to put it up in the top corner here. And we're just going to attach that with some hot glue. And this black and white beauty is complete. And here they are in all their glory. This black and red beauty. Gotta love it. Sexy vamps. And here we are peeking through the window at this lovely lady. And probably my all-time favorite. My black and white beauty. Thank you guys so much for being here with me today. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to like and share and all the things. I'll see you next time. Bye.